In 2nd Nephi chapter 9, Jacob lists various woes. He's telling various groups of people to watch out because they are in spiritual danger. And he starts it off in verse 27, and they aren't necessarily the groups you might expect. So the first in verse 27 says, "Woe unto him that has the law given, yea, that has all the commandments of God like unto us, and transgresseth them, and that wasteth the day of his probation, for awful is his state." So watch out, people who have the commandments and who ignore them. Okay. Next he says, watch out to the people who are educated, because sometimes education leads to pride and to not listening to God. He talks about watch out if you're rich. So watch out if you're rich, watch out if you're educated, because sometimes rich people aren't kind to the poor, and they worship money more than they worship God. Watch out to the deaf. Watch out, not the deaf who cannot hear, but the deaf who will not hear, and the blind that will not see. So people who refuse to hear and to see, refuse to let new knowledge change their actions. Okay, we'll go into the uncircumcised of heart. And I think of the uncircumcised of heart as people who aren't willing to check themselves. It's another pride thing. It's people who aren't willing to submit themselves to God's will in their hearts. Woe unto the liar, woe unto the murderer, woe unto those who commit whoredoms, woe unto those who worship idols. And he's talked about how riches and money are an idol. Then he says, and in fine, woe unto all those who die in their sins, for they shall return to God and behold his face and remain in their sins. And I think that that's just a powerful way of saying, you know what, at some point there's going to be a judgment day, and you're going to have to return to God. And if you focus on things other than becoming like God, you're going to have to answer for that. And that's going to be hard for you. And I don't envy anyone who has to stand before God and feel ashamed because they chose not to hear, and they chose to trust their learning or their riches more than God. I want to be humble enough to trust in the Lord, and so that when I return to God, I hope to say, I tried my best to trust in you. Yeah.